Namaste children, welcome to today math class. Previous class we completed what is bar graph, what is pictograph, what is double bar graph. And today class we are going to learn how to organize the data. Let's see first why we need to organize the data. I told you already in previous class, whatever the data we collect, if it is in the original form, it is called raw data. It is called raw data. So when the information is its original form, from there it is not easy to understand the information easily. Once whatever the information is there in original form, that information, if I arrange in a systematic order, if I organize that raw data, which is easy to understand, So let me take one situation why we need to organize the data. What is the importance of organizing data? Let's see with the example, small example. Let me take one example. Shoe size of class 7 students. Shoe size of class 7 students are taking one. 7 number shoes are there, 3 students. 8 number, 6, 7, 8, 7, 6. Few students are 5 number only. 9 number, 6 number shoes. 7 number. Again then 8 number, 6 number, 7 number, 7 number, 8 number. Then 6 number. So these are the shoe size of class 7 students. After reading this, I asked a question. Can you tell what is the shoe size of maximum number of students? We need to count which number is repeating more number of times. It is the time taking process. I gave you only few students. Like this, if I give 30 students, if I ask you, tell me what is the shoe size of maximum number of students. If I ask you what is the shoe size of minimum number of students, when we have more number of observations, it is the time taking process to give answer. So in such case, we need to organize this data in a systematic order. So how can I organize this in a systematic order? Let's see here now. Let me write in a tabular form. Let me take here shoe size. Here I will take frequency. I told you what is mean frequency. Frequency is nothing but number of times that particular observation is occurring or repeating frequency. Or we can say repeating. Sorry, go. Yeah. What are the different shoe size we can see here? We can see 5 number, we can see 6 number, or I can see 7 number, 8 number, and also I can see 9 number. Now let's count how many students are there having their shoe size is 5. Only one student is there. Yes. How many students are there having the shoe size is 6 number? Yes, I can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 students are having the shoe size is 6. Now let's see 7. Yes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 students are having their shoe size is 7 number. Let's go for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 students are having their shoe size is 8 number. Now let's see 9 number shoes. Yes. 1. Only one student is having shoe size is 9 number. Now this will express in tally marks. So only one is there, give one symbol. How can I represent this 5 by using tally marks? We'll keep 4 vertical lines, 1, 2, 3, 4, and every fifth line will write cross. Then it will be easy to count 5 together. How can I represent this 6 mark? 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth one cross, and that also we need to count 5, 6. Now 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here only 1. So the arrangement of data like this, it is called a frequency distribution table. What is sigma? Frequency distribution table. Simply we can write FDT. frequency distribution table. Just I am arranging this data in a tabular form by using the tally marks. Now it is easy to answer such questions. Shoe size, maximum number of students. Shoe size having maximum number of students. Which number shoe size are having maximum number of students? See, maximum number of students are having which shoe size one? 7 number size. 7 number size you can see more number of students. Less number of students 5 and 9. So when we organize the data in a systematic order, then it is easy to understand. So this is the way we can represent the information by using tally marks, which is called frequency distribution table, which gives us more easily to understand the data. See, Ma just now explained how we can arrange the data in a systematic order by using tally marks. Now here we can see the marks obtained in mathematics by 60 students of class 8th. Here you can see the marks of 60 students of class 8th. Can I represent this in a systematic order by using frequency distribution table? If I represent this by using frequency distribution table, see, we can see different number of observations here. So that if I arrange this all the observations by using frequency distribution table, the table will become too long. Then what we have to do? We have to arrange this as a class interval. See there, we make groups of observations, say 0 to 10, 10 to 20 and so on. So once we arrange in a group and obtain a frequency distribution of the number of observations falling in each group. See, we have marks of 60 students. It is not easy to represent by using frequency distribution table. So when we have more number of observations, we are going to arrange in a groups like 0 to 10, 10 to 20, and then we'll find that how many observations are falling in each group. Here they are arranged in a tabular form by using class intervals. See, they took groups 0 to 9, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, 50 to 60, and they observed how many observations are falling in first class interval? 2 observations. How many observations are falling in second class interval? 10 observations. Like that, they written all the frequencies and they expressed in a tally marks. And see here, 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. Here 0 is called lower limit, 10 is upper limit. Second class interval, 10 is lower limit, 20 is upper limit. Now you may get the doubt, sir, if a student got 10 marks, where we have to consider? First class interval or second class interval? See my here, in first class interval we can take the values from 0 to 9. Upper limit is included in the next class lower limit. Second class interval will take the students, those who secured from 10 to 19. Third class interval will take 20 to 29. So that is the way we need to take the observations. Hope you understood. It is called grouped frequency distribution table. So when we have more number of observations, we'll make them into groups like which are called class intervals. Then we'll count how many observations are falling in that particular class interval. These are called lower limits and these are called upper limits. So here you can see one grouped frequency distribution table. If you want to represent this grouped frequency distribution table, we will represent like this, which is called histogram. Which is called histogram. It is not like a bar graph. We can see bit changes. In bar graph, if you see, there is a fixed distance between each rectangular bar. But if you see in this histogram, there is no distance between each rectangular bar. So this is the way we can represent graphically this grouped frequency distribution table by using histogram. Width of the each bar is same. then height will depend on the frequency of that respective class interval. And here also you can see the histogram, but if you see here they gave some zigzag line. They are taking from 20 to 25, 20 to 5 to 30, 30 to 35. Why they give zigzag line like this here? Here we can't see any zigzag line. Means here they are taking the values from 0 to 10, 10 to 20. They are taking from 0 onwards. But here if you see why they give zigzag line, they are not considering the values from 0 to 20. They are considering from values from only 20 onwards. 0 to 19 they are not considering. Because of that only they gave that zigzag line. Yeah, here we can see one grouped frequency distribution table. 0 lower limit, 10 is upper limit. 10 is lower limit, 20 is upper limit. These are called lower limits and these are called upper limits. So you know how to represent with tally marks. Then see here we have size of the class interval. Size of these are called class interval. Short form we can write CI, and these are called what? Tally marks. Tally marks. This is what now? Frequency. We have here size of the class interval. Size of the class interval means what? How many observations are falling in that particular class interval? Here we consider only 0 to 9. I said 0 to 9. How many observations? 10 observations. Here we consider only 10 to 19. 10 to 19. We can see 10 observations. Or else to find the class interval, we have a formula: upper limit. What is the formula? Upper limit minus lower limit. Upper limit minus lower limit. By using this, we will find the size of the class interval. See, when you take any one class interval, it will take upper limit is 20. What is the lower limit of that particular class interval? 10. So is equal to how much? 10. Size of the class interval is 10. Is also called as width of the class interval. Size or width of the class interval. So that is the way we can find the size of the class interval. What is the formula? Upper limit minus lower limit. Now see in exercise 5.1, let's go for third bit more. The weekly wages of 30 workers in a factory are 30 workers are there, they give their wages, salary 830, 835, 890, like that they give salary of 30 workers. They are asking to express, using tally marks, make a frequency table with intervals 800 to 810, 810 to 820 and so on. Here we can see many observations. They are asking to express them groups like 800 to 810, 810 to 820 and so on. Then after that they are asking to prepare a frequency distribution table. So finally they are asking to prepare the grouped frequency distribution table. Yeah, here we can see the values of 30 persons, and this they are asking to express in a grouped frequency distribution table by taking these class intervals. Which class intervals? 800 to 810. So let us write first class intervals now. Class intervals. Then we take the tally marks. So after the tally marks, we'll write the frequency. Frequency. Now see here now. Class intervals in question itself this gave start from 800. 800 to, there is no observation below 800, you can see there. 800 to 810. Then 810 to 820. 820 to 830. We'll take 830 to 840. 840 to 850. Then again 850 to 860. 860 to 870. Let's see once what is the maximum value. I can see here 890. More I can say 890. That's all. 890. 8 also there here. 898. So we'll go better after 900. 870 here. 870 to 880. Then I take 880 to 890. Then I'll go with 890 to 900. 890 to 900. Now let us count how many observations are falling in the first class interval. 800 to 810, lower limit, upper limit. As I told you that in the continuous class interval, upper limit is not included in the same class interval. Upper limit is included in the next class lower limit. So in the first class interval, we will take the values from 800 to 809. 800 to 809, 809. Second class interval will take the values from 810 to 819. Let us count how many observations are falling in this class interval. We will consider from where to where? 800 to 809. Let's see how many are there from 800 to 809. 800 to 809. 800 to 809. There is no observation till now. 804, yes, 1. 808, 2. Then we'll see 800 to 809. That's all. 806. So these are the observations. How many are there? 3 observations are falling in this class interval, which are from 800 to 809. Let me take frequency 3. Second class interval 810 to 810, 820. 810 to 819. Sorry, 819. Let us count the values. How many are there from 810 to 819? From 810. 810, 1. 810 after 810 to 819. See here 810, 810 to 819. Let's see here 810 to 819. 2. 810 to 819. More can I see? No. 810 to 819. More there is no observations. You can see only 2 which are falling in second class interval. Let us see third class interval. Above 820 and below 830 means 829. 820 to 829. 820 to 829. Let us see 820 above. 820 to 829. Yes, 820. 1. 820 to 829. 820 to 829. I got only 1. Yes, only 1 I got. Next we will see how many are falling in next class interval. 830 to 839. 830. 1. 2. 830 to 839. 3. 4. 830 to 839. 5. 6. 830 to 839. 7. 8. 9. That's all. 9 observations are falling in this class interval. Now let's see 840 to 849. Above 840, below 849. 849. 1. 840 to 849. You can see 2. 3. 4. 5. Yes, 5 observations are falling in this class interval. Now let's take next 850 to 859. Above 850, 850 to 859. Yes, 1. 850 to 859. 850 to 859. Only 1 observation is falling there. Now let's see one. 860 to 870. 860 to 870. 1. 2. 860 to 869. Sorry. 2 completed. 860 to 869. 3 observations are falling in this class interval. Now let's go with 870 to 880. Sorry, 870 to 879. 870 to 879. Almost we completed. 870 to 879. 1. Then we will see 880 to 890. 880 to 890. Sorry, not 890. Upper limit is not included. Upper limit is included in the next class. We'll consider from 880 to 889. 880 to 889. 880 to 889. One. Only one observation. Then we'll see last one. 890 to 900. Sorry, 890 to 899. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 observations are following the last class interval. See, by adding this all, how much you get? 30. Let us sequence 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 1, 6, 6 plus 9, 15, 15 plus 5, 20, 20, 21, 24, 24 plus 2, 26, 26 plus 4, 30. Yes, we are getting 30. Now represent the array marks. Here you can see 3 frequency, 1, 2, 3. 2 we can take 2 vertical lines, so only one vertical line. 9 meter, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth one is grass. And that also we need to count. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's all. Only 9 is there. 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, fifth one grass. Again 1. Now again 3, 1, 2, 3. Now again 1. Again we have 1. Now 4 appear at 1, 2, 3, 4. That is the way we can represent grouped frequency distribution table by using class interval and array marks. We are going to represent the data. Hope everyone understood. Easy one. These are called class intervals and they are called continuous class intervals. In that continuous class interval, upper limit is not included in the particular class interval. Upper limit is included in the next class lower limit. Suppose if you want to take this particular class interval, we'll take the observations which are falling from 840 to 849. 840 to 849. 850 will consider in the next class. Here we can take from 850 to 859. 860 will consider in the next class interval. 860 to 869. So that is the way you can draw the grouped frequency distribution table. Here you can see fourth one now. They are asking draw histogram for the frequency table made for the data, question number 3, and answer the following questions. So whatever the information they gave in third one, by taking that they are asking to draw the histogram for fourth question, and also they are asking which group has maximum number of workers, how many workers earn 850 rupees and more, how many workers earn less than 850. So to answer these questions, first we have to draw the histogram, it seems, by using third question groups. Yeah, this is fourth question. Fourth question they are asking in third question whatever the class intervals frequencies are there. By using that they are asking to draw the histogram. So to draw the graph we need vertical line which is called y-axis, and also we need x-axis called horizontal line, and the intersecting point of this both is called origin, which is 0, 0. Now this class interval will take on x-axis. From here we will take 800 onwards. So we will keep like this. It doesn't mean that we are not considering the values from 0 to 800 before. We are considering from 800 onwards. 800, next to what ma? 810. Until we see this now. 820, 830, 840, then 850, then 860, 870, 880, then 890, then 900. Then 900. Here we take the scale. So what is the maximum value? 9. So by taking 1, 2, 3, 4, we can see the 9 easily there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So let me write 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. What is the scale we are taking on y-axis now? On y-axis we are taking the scale. 1 centimeter is equal to how many units? 1 unit. 1 centimeter is equal to 1 unit. Now let's see, from 800 to 810, how much? 3. 3 workers are there having their wages 800 to 809. So from 800 to 810 we take 3. Keep the vertical horizontal line first, then you can join it by using scale like this. Yeah, next mark 810 to 822. 810 to 822. Yes, we'll take like this. Then next 820 to 830, only one. Only one. Then next 830 to 849. Sorry. 830 to 849. 830 to 840, how many? 9. So here you can see 9. 830 to 840, we have 9. The next one 840 to 855. 840 to 855. So we'll take approximate like this. 850 to 860, 1. 850 to 860, only 1. Then next 870 to 880, 1. Sorry, 860 to 873. 860 to 873 it seems. 3 will take. Yeah, then next 870 to 880, only 1. 870 to 880, only 1. Then 880 to 890, again only 1. Again only 1. Next 890 to 900, we see 4. How many we can see, ma? We can see 4. Yes, this is called histogram. It is called histogram. Here we cannot see any distance between the rectangular bars, but whereas in bar graph you can see the distance between each rectangular bars is equal to width of the bar. Here in all the rectangular bars, width of the rectangular bar is same, but length is depend on the frequency value. Now let's answer this. They gave some questions here. They are asking which group has maximum number of workers. First one, solution, they are asking which group has maximum number of workers. Now where you can see maximum is 9. In which group? 830 to 840. Yes, from 830 to 840 group I can see maximum number of workers. Now let's see second question. They are asking how many workers earn 850 and more. How many workers will earn 850 and more than 850? Better we write like this here. 3, 2, 1, 9, then 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, then 1, 1, 4, 1, 1, 4. They are asking how many workers earn 850 and more. 850 rupees and more. From here you can consider. 850 and more means from 850 to above up to 900 take. 1 plus 3, 4, 4 plus 1, 5, 5 plus 1, 6. 6 plus 4, 10. Yes, 10 workers will earn more than, 850 and more. Next, third one they are asking how many workers earn less than 850. Third one they are asking how many workers earn less than 850. Less than 850 means, see this all before, from 800 to before 850 all will consider. 3 plus 2, 5, 5 plus 1, 6. 6 plus 9, 50. 6 plus 9, 15. 15 plus 5, 20. Yes, 20 workers will earn less than 850. Less than 850. Hope everyone you understood how to draw a frequency distribution table and how we can draw the grouped frequency distribution table, and from there how can we draw the histogram. Based on this concept, you can do homework. Exercise 5.1, first, third, fifth, you can try homework.